Hey, good afternoon, or good evening, or good morning, wherever you are. This is Patrick. Welcome to the 30 on this warm, very, very, very hot. Probably hit 97 here in the Rochester area on today. So we're enjoying this mini heat wave, but I'm here in my new setup, new office. So moved from where we were, and now we are set up in our permanent office. But anyhow, I just want to welcome you. Thank you again for joining us on this Thursday. Again, we're streaming live. We are on live on Facebook as well as on YouTube. If you are unable to catch us live, you can certainly catch it on replay on both Facebook and YouTube. Do us a favor, go ahead and share with someone, tag someone, maybe, hey, text someone and let them know that the 30 is on. We'll take comments. Make sure that you have any comments or questions. Make sure that you hit us up in the comments field. Today, I have a very special guest. We're going to continue with our talk about the small business owner, which we started last week. And today we're going to talk about entrepreneurship. Last week we did a comparison between a business owner or someone who was self-employed, versus someone who is an entrepreneur. So this evening, today, I'm going to invite a young entrepreneur, and his name is Fred Wims Jr., and he is the owner of ProSavvy Studios. I've known Fred now from the time he was a little one at church and singing, involved in drama. So I'm happy to see what he's doing. I'm excited for him in terms of his new venture. So without further ado, let's bring Fred in. Hey, Fred, how are you?
Doing well. How you been?
I'm doing pretty good. Thank you. Make sure that your sound is good and your audio is good. So, Fred, thank you for joining me this evening. Want to talk about where you are. I told you our piece is going to be about entrepreneurship. We know that you are the owner of ProSavvy Studios. So let's get right to it, Fred. Let's give the viewers a background of who Fred is, and what Fred does, and what is ProSavvy Studios.
Yeah. So I'm born and raised here in Rochester, New York. Mother to son to my Fred and Peggy Wims. I actually, about around age 14, I moved to Oklahoma, out of all places, with my father. Went to college out there. Finally moved back in 05. Got involved in music. Did that for about 8 years. I've always had a knack for the audio, for the visual. Always been involved in, poetry during high school, things of that nature. And so I've always had that kind of the media side, everything that entailed live events, lighting, music, the engineering side to it all. And then just recently got into to the video side, which I can really put all my eggs in that basket and utilize the music portion, the audio, the visual, put it all together, and that's it. So I find myself here right now, so to speak.
Okay, great. So what is ProSavvy Studios? And your sound is a little bit low. Maybe if you have
Okay.
so that we want to make sure that the viewers can hear this. We don't want to
Yep.
miss anything, right? So tell us about ProSavvy Studios.
So let me get you situated. Let's switch up to
Okay.
PC.
No worries.
All right.
And I know that you're on the go here now, so
All right.
I truly
I'm
appreciate you
on the
taking
go.
the time to
Absolutely.
out of your busy schedule to join us here on the 30. So tell us about ProSavvy Studios.
Yeah. Are we good? A little bit better for you?
Better.
Awesome. So ProSavvy Studios is a company I started about 2 years ago. I initially was working with a company for about a year and a half. They were based out of Niagara Falls, so I did a lot of video work, camera work for them. I did a lot of editing for them. Worked again with them for about a year and a half, and I always had kind of the unction just to start my own business. Um, a lot of times, well, as far as my experience goes, you ran into not being able to fully utilize my creative side because you have somebody else that has a certain vision for a project. And so with me, I wanted to, I see this going this way, but the guy that basically has the say so, he has a vision. I have to produce that. So in my heart, I wanted that full creative choice with what I was creating, and so I decided to branch off and start my own with ProSavvy. So ProSavvy, I do anything audio, so music, engineering, sound production, sound design, mixing, mastering, as far as the audio portion, and video, music videos, promotional videos, commercials, interviews, live events, kind of the whole gamut of audio, visual, and everything in between.
Yeah, and you've always, as I said, I've known you for a number of years now, and that's
Yeah,
always been in your wheelhouse, doing something, and the sound, even singing. I remember
yeah,
you
yeah. We did that for a while. The Unusual Suspect. Shout out to John David Paris.
right.
We were at it for a good seven years. Started in my parents' basement and worked our way up to getting signed by independent label. We toured for about a year and a half. That was a great experience to see that side of everything. Being one on one with our producers, with the marketers, just seeing the ins and outs of the industry really kind of helped mold me into having that wide view of um, in front of the camera and behind the camera.
So you've always had this entrepreneurial spirit from young. When did you know? At what age did you know that you wanted to do something on your own?
Uh, I tell this story all the time. I had to be about 6 years old. Um, my father had one of those portable TVs, with the
With the
antenna that
antenna?
comes out. Yep, yep. It was a color TV. So something happened to it where it wasn't working, and me, I would just take stuff apart. I just wanted to see how it worked. I was always hands on. I wanted to know. It's one thing just to see it. It's one thing to like actually open something up and see how things work internally. So there was a switch that was broken on my father's TV, and it was like he couldn't get it to work. And I'm like, hey, if I can fix it, can I have it? And he's like, yeah, go right ahead. So I took it apart, unscrewed it. I had no idea what I was doing. Had to be about 6 or 7 years old. I looked at it. I'm like, this piece must go here. This is the on and off switch. So let me just put that here, adjust this, put it back together. It's on. It's working. I get to keep a TV. I'm 6 years old. I have a portable TV. So
Nice.
at that moment, I knew I want to create with my hands and my mind. If I see
Okay.
something, I want to be able to depict that either through audio or through visual or actually hands-on. I love working with my hands as well. So a lot of carpentry, house, those little things around the house I do. I built my own studio at the house. So
Very
I've
nice.
always kind of wanted to be hands-on and be involved with the whole process. So at that moment, 6 years old, that's when it kind of started for me.
So what are some of the projects that you've worked on since you started the business?
So since I started the business, worked on a lot of live events. So miking, lighting. Um, I've done a couple of commercials, promotional videos. There's a company by the name of Fuse Creative. They're based out of here in Rochester. I've done a lot of promo work for them, commercial work for them. Atlas Body Development Center, which is a gym out in Spencerport. I've done some promotional videos for them. Music videos.
Okay.
A couple artists here in Rochester goes by the name of Lava, the Fresh Nerd, Jedi, Andre Jamel. So I've had my hand in a lot of things. You know, I just like to get involved, try new things. I'm not one to shy away from a challenge. I actually welcome it. Just knowing I'm not one to stay content. I like to be stretched.
Sure.
So
Sure.
yeah. So that's what I've been involved with now. Is a couple other projects that's coming up, and yeah, just kind of plug away.
So what's the vision for ProSavvy? What as the owner of it, what's the vision? Where do you see it going?
So obviously the ultimate vision is just to be self-employed, you know,
Hmm.
just allow my business to where I can just live off of it, you know, have enough clientele coming in where I'm booked and I know what's coming in. Just being able to budget myself. That's something that I really kind of pride myself in is budgeting, you know, knowing what I have coming in, knowing that I have full control over that. And as
Sure.
much as I put into this, I'm going to get that back. But the vision for ProSavvy is just to be that one-stop shop, whatever you need as far as audio, visual, marketing, branding. I also do graphic design, logos, everything that entails you trying to present yourself or market yourself to the masses. So that's what ultimately I wanna get to is just having a full-fledged production studio.
Nice. Okay. So that's a long-term goal.
Yeah, that's the long-term goal for sure.
Okay. All right. So which out of the projects that you've done so far, which one do you think is the most exciting and most how should I put this? Well, let's start with the most exciting.
Yeah. The most they all have their own excitement because not every project is going to be the same, and that's what that's what I got away from in the first place. Was just not being pigeonholed into this is what it is. So every project kind of has its own place.
Hmm.
But if one would be one that was pretty exciting was an audiobook experience that I worked on. Um,
Okay.
a friend of the family actually came to me. It's turned out to be a 8-month project, so
Wow.
it took a while, but just to create. Now you have your standard audiobook where they're reading from the book. What we wanted to create was an actual experience, sound design with it, actually creating an environment as he recites, you know, from his book. So that was an undertaking that was welcome. That was exciting. Every other, we had no idea what we were actually going to do. We had no idea from the start of a track into the ending of it. Like we
Mm.
were just honestly, we had an idea of like kind of outline of what we wanted, but it turned into this whole experience that he or I did not even expect. So that's something that stood out for sure with me.
That's awesome. What about the most rewarding?
The most rewarding would have to be I got a soft spot for music videos.
Okay.
Um and the reason why I say that is because me myself being an artist as well, you know, back in the day,
Sure.
that exchange of creativity between creatives, you know, that's something that I really enjoy. It's like a continuous, you know, give take, like of energy while I'm filming, while I'm filming, and while the artist is performing,
Hmm.
getting their energy. They're feeding off of me, I'm feeding off of them. We're creating together and taking um their audio, their, you know, what they wrote, and then trying to create a visual towards that. That's one of the most rewarding feelings out there for me.
Okay. Awesome. So, so we talk about the most exciting, the most rewarding. What are some of the things that you would like to do project wise that you haven't done before?
Gotcha. Short films.
Okay.
That is the next step for ProSavvy Studios is short films. That's something that I want to get into. Storytelling. That is on the horizon. I want to do it right the first time. I just don't want to jump out and just to do it.
Sure.
I really want to have everything just in line, cross all my T's, dot all my I's. But short film is the next step for me, for sure.
Awesome. You're viewing The 30. I'm talking to Fred Wims Jr. He's the owner of ProSavvy Studios. And we're talking about entrepreneurship under the series of the small business owner. So if you have some questions for Fred or any comments, just go ahead and drop them in a comments line. And I'm sure he would love to hear from you. Young man doing his thing and owning his own studio. And he's also available for hire if you want to hire him to work on a project. Fred, if someone wants to contact you, how do they contact you?
So you can reach me at ProSavvyStudios.com. All of my social media platforms are linked there, so you can reach Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. All my links are right at ProSavvyStudios.com. Holla at me.
Please do. Fred is a great guy. When we talk about entrepreneurship, right, and we talked about it more at length last week. It's about entrepreneurs are basically set up in terms of helping others. So if you're an entrepreneur, that's the basis of it, is that you help others accomplish what their needs are before you can accomplish what your needs are. And that's part of being a successful entrepreneur. It's not just taking, but it's most importantly giving and helping others to accomplish their goals, and then you'll accomplish your goals. What are some of the things or individuals that if you look at, let's say, mentors, who do you have as a mentor at this point?
As a mentor at this point, it always goes back to my father.
Okay.
My father was always, he was that person that would always, I knew what I would get from him, and it will always be God.
Right.
No matter what it was, I know he would say, well, son, we're gonna, this is what you need to do. This is why you need to do it. And here's a scripture supporting that. So he always had an answer. And I knew that, whatever questions I had for him would always lead me back to that strong foundation, which is in God, in Christ. So that's that. My father will always be, God rest his soul. He passed away in 2013, but his lessons are always in my heart. Also, Elder Jackman, you always been there. You know how it was like, years ago. I was a knucklehead, just coming back to church and coming back to know God, and you were one of the first people that embraced me. So I thank you. I really never told you that, but you've been always on my mind, and then when we reconnected, it was timely, very timely.
Good. Well, thank you. The pleasure's all mine. And in terms of reconnecting, you are now. So we've hired you officially to work on Man-to-Man, the Candid Conversation Conference, right?
Yeah.
So you are our AV guy. So tell us about what you're going to be doing. Well, first, those of you that don't know what Man-to-Man, the Candid Conversation Conference is, it was a conference. This is the second annual conference. It's focused on men of all races, background, ages. The goal basically is to encourage, educate, and empower men who are willing to thrive to be better men. That's the goal of it, is to really take men from where they are give them the knowledge and the skill, and then help them to take the next step. We're going to walk step by step with them. So the original conference was scheduled for April 25th, but of course, with Corona, we had to push that back. So now it's going to be 100% virtual, and it's going to be August 8th, Saturday, August 8th. And Fred is going to be our AV person. No pressure, Fred. So tell us about what you're going to be doing for us.
So in a nutshell, I'm gonna be making sure things don't go wrong.
There you go.
So, but if you really wanna like kind of flesh it out, just making sure that we're gonna have a team that are running multiple cameras. We're gonna mic up the presenters. We're running different rooms that people can actually attend, like your traditional conference. You have your breakout rooms. I want to sign up for this. I want to sign up for that. We'll have those specific rooms for those people to actually join and have that experience. So basically, we're running the audio, the visual, making sure the audio is crisp. So going from wireless audio, camera work, camera angles, lighting. That's basically it. It sounds a little boring, but there's a lot involved to it. You don't see that on your end. All the background when you don't know anything is going on or wrong. That's when everything is going right. So if it goes off without a hitch, then I did my job well.
There you go, because you are in the hot seat because this is 100% virtual. Yes, some of the speakers will be in their various rooms, social distance, and the goal is to get it out to all men. So those that want to register, there it is, thecandidconversations.com/register. And it's just not local. This is national and international. So wherever you are, it is 100% virtual. The benefit is that you can relax in your own home, in your shorts or whatever, and attend and learn from those that are going to be speaking. It's going to be an awesome time. So, absolutely. Fred, I want to thank you for taking that up.
Absolutely, no problem.
Just a couple more questions for you, Fred, and before we finish up is, so let's say, what advice would you give to a younger person, because you're young yourself, but what advice would you give to someone that desires to have their own business in the audiovisual or music business?
A couple of things, and not in any particular order. First one that comes to mind: don't ever compromise yourself. What you stand for, what your morals are, how you were brought up. Do not ever compromise yourself just for monetary gain. You have to live with yourself. You have to live with that choice, and ultimately, you creating anything in audio or music, and you put that online, that's forever. It's going to be there. Your name is going to be attached to that. So market yourself, brand yourself, set the bar high, and don't compromise. Get out there. Network is a big thing. Networking. You're not going to get anywhere just sitting on your hands, and you're not getting out in the field. So a couple of things: don't compromise, market yourself, and just have fun. Have fun. Be creative.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to some great things from you, Fred. You've always have that knack in terms of technical and getting it done. You always have a smile despite whatever is going on. You always have that bright smile. So I know you are going to do some exceptional things, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm happy to be just a little part of that. Again, if someone wants to contact you for video work, audio work, music, or short video or short stories, short movies,
short films,
short films, how can they contact you? Okay, so short films.
Short films, hopefully movies one day. Ultimate goal, 10-year goal, movies.
All right.
But
All right.
yeah, you can.
I'm going to hold you to that
Contact.
now.
You got it. You got it. I got you. I got you. I can't stay stagnant. I got to keep moving, keep
That's
challenging
right.
myself. You know,
That's right.
challenge yourself. That's another thing. Challenge yourself. Don't pigeonhole yourself into one idea or one theme, or this is what I do and that's it. Challenge yourself, stretch yourself. That's where growth comes into play. All right. But
Awesome.
reach me at ProSavvyStudios.com. I'll throw my number out there,
Sure.
585-424-0547. Shoot me a call, shoot me a text. But ProSavvyStudios.com. That's ProSavvy Studios.com. And you can reach all my social media platforms right there.
Okay. Great, Fred. Anything else that you want to say before we end?
I'm excited for Man to Man. It's gonna be awesome.
It's gonna be great.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm really excited for what's to come and the future.
All right. Okay. Fred, thank you so much. Again, we highly recommend. Right now we are in the early bird special pricing, and that ends July 14th. So go to thecandidconversations.com/register. July 14th. You do not want to miss that, because then on July 15th, then the price goes up. So make sure that you register. We have some great speakers. In the coming weeks, we're going to feature some of the speakers. We'll be checking in with them. Fred is going to be doing him and his team doing the audio visual. So Fred, thank you so very much again. Have a good evening, and
Patrick,
we'll be chatting very soon. Okay?
Absolutely. Take care.
Be blessed. Okay. So again, we were speaking with Fred Wims. This is Patrick with The 30. Fred is a young man on his own business, entrepreneur, and he is doing some great things. And I know he's going to continue to excel, because I saw him from young, and now he's on his own business. So I know he will go on to do great things. I see a couple of my family members here. Hi, Auntie from Canada, my cousin Jefferson. Thanks, Jefferson. Make sure that you get those guys in Barbados ready for the Candid Conversations. Make sure you get them registered. All right, don't delay. All right, that is it for me. I want to thank you for being here again on this Thursday. We will see you next week. If you are watching it and replay, and you want to send us some comments, you can contact us at info@jackmangroupllc.com. That's info@jackmangroupllc.com. We want to hear from you. Any show suggestions that you may have, touch base. But until then, be safe, be safe, be safe. And as we say, may God bless you and your family. Have a good evening. We'll catch you next Thursday. Bye-bye for now.